Welcome to Front-End Web Development subject. In this video, we are going to start with Unit 2. Unit 2 deals with React.js introduction and how do you handle props and state in React. To begin with, let's start with the React.js, its introduction, creating basic React component. With this knowledge, we'll try to create Hello World application. React.js is a JavaScript library and which is an open source. It is used for building user interfaces. React is only responsible for view layer as well as updating the UI whenever it changes. React is a library and not a framework. The major difference between a library and a framework is that a library only helps you in one aspect, whereas a framework helps you in many aspects. For example, React is a library, it only takes care of UI. Angular is a framework because it handles much more than UI, like dependency injection, CSS encapsulation, and many more. React is not about the design of your UI. It does not give beautifully designed UI parts like buttons or cards. It does not give us. It helps us to manage complicated UI but does not come with an design system. It is developed by Meta and released in 2013. To start with, why are we learning React? Any developer who knows basics of HTML and JS, they can easily dive into React. So that we call that as easy to learn. Since we are building components in React, the bigger application can be viewed in a format of smaller components and they are reusable. Because of the virtual DOM in React, it is very used for fast rendering. Because of the components naming, React is helping us in SEO friendly. Since it has been 11 years now, it has been introduced React. It has a strong community support. In case you stuck somewhere, that kind of an errors or the bugs, you can see that by previous developers who already experienced it, and they will you'll be noticing how do you debug it. In addition to that, it comes with a great developer tools. All these are the React reasons that helping us to learn why React and why it is still leading in the market. With this theoretical knowledge, let's dive into creating the components. Basically, a component is a reusable block of code which has some UI part and logic as well. Imagine there is a component called cart. It is also a component, and within that, every product which you are trying to render onto the cart page can also be called as a component. Likewise, you can build up with many components into the products list component. You'll be seeing them very soon in our React courses. To start with, let's start very basic React component. Let's dive into VS Code. Create a folder called basic React component. Create a file called index.html. Let's get the boilerplate for this and create a division called root. Create another file index.or script.js. Let's try to bind this with us. Script tag href equals /script.js. Let's create a basic component now. We have a React which comes with an create element. Can be an HTML element, please. React.create element is a function available in the React package. It takes in a couple of parameters. First one would be what type of a tag you would like to create, that tag name, what kind of a CSS you would like to associate with that h1 tag, that can be given as a second parameter. As of now, I would like to keep it empty. And what is the data you would like to associate with an h1? For example, welcome to KMIT. Let's hold this one into a variable called lm. Now you will be wondering where this React is coming from. I'll talk that about in a minute. Like React, we have an React DOM dot render, which is used for rendering something. Takes and two parameters basically, what element you would like to render and what has to be associated with which DOM element. I would like to render lm, which we created on the line 1, and I would like to associate it with the tag called division with its ID called root. If you look at in our index.html, we have created a division with an root. Let's get it one. Document dot get element by ID by the root. That is all, please. Go back here. Now you'll be wondering where is this React and React DOM is coming from. As of now, we are getting it from CDN links. I have them in handy now. Let me pick up them. The first two things, you'll be getting these CDN links in description. Don't worry about that. Go back and right over here. Paste over here. In future, I may be using the Bootstrap as well. So let me get a Bootstrap link as well. There. Let's run this code now. I don't see anything. Let me check up. Script.js element root h1 welcome to KMIT. LM is coming from here. Get element by ID root, and that is the root over here. Cross check this. Might be this might has loaded up very fast. Let me cut that. Paste over here. Let me check now. No, a strange thing to do. There, it is going wrong here. It is src, please. And back here, you will be seeing the component. This is within basic React component, right? So what if I would like to add some CSS part to this? Yes, instead of this empty one, I could add any CSS part to that. Let me write something like class name, background color, PG warning. Let me keep it as simple as possible. Heading back to our browser, there you would be seeing that. Let me create one more component very quickly. Let button equals react.create element with an button keep null for now. CSS part for that, and the name of my button would be my button. My button. Now, since it can bind only one element at a time, but now I would like to pick up these two elements and show that onto the page. So how do I do that? Group them in an array, please. There, let's look at our browser. You'll be seeing my button here. Let me give color to that. Class name colon bg bge primary. Keep it simple. Heading back. There you go. This is with an basic React component, but you'll be seeing that this is little harder to write the create React elements likewise. Very soon, you need to write the logical part as well. Let's see the another way of creating. Heading back to my folder where I'll be creating a folder called Hello World application. In this, let me create a file called index.html. Boilerplate. Here, let me get all my requirements, CSS part and this, linking part, copy this and paste it over here. Here, this time, let me write, instead of going to another script file, let me write my script over here. Script tag, right? So to keep it simple, let's create a general HTML elements like H1 division, which has an H1. Has an H1. This is a header. Close the division part. Whatever I create here, let me try to take to a variable called header. Now this header is my element or component. Now type equals text or Babel. Basically, JavaScript would not understand this type of HTML elements in it. There is something called Babel, which will try to transpile or convert our HTML code into an React code or JavaScript. That is called as JSX. That is called as an JSX. JSX is making our life easy. Instead of creating React.create element with all the pain, that heading tag, the element name, and the associated bootstrap names and the content part, JSX is very easier to us. It almost looks like our HTML thing. So convert this HTML thing in JavaScript. To make our JavaScript understand, Babel comes into the picture and converts these HTML elements into a JavaScript thing. And JSX is at help. So how does it understands? How does our JavaScript understand this Babel part? To get it, we have another one, CDN link for that. Let me get that one and paste it in it. There you go. You'll be getting all the links in the description part, please. Now, let me try to create a division which has an ID equals to root. Yeah. Try to bind with our React.render. Take header part and get element by ID, the root. Okay, let's run this part. We're not seeing anything. Hopefully this is picking up. This is not working because I need to update that to the React DOM. Check out now. There you go. This is an header. Let's try to write some bootstrap to this. How you writing it? Other way. Class name equals bg warning. Let's check it out. There you go. Let us create one more component, please. Let my name equals tag KMIT. Who's that one? So if you wanted to render more than one component, pass that as an array, please. My name. Back to our browser. There you'll be seeing. I hope you have got no basic idea on how do you create a basic app, basic React component, and also Hello World application. This is basically a Hello World application using JSX, please. You'll be learning about JSX in coming classes more. To keep it simple, KMIT Hello World app. See you in the next video.